All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this, folks. Tucker Carlson, patriotic documentary about the real America is back. Okay. I know no one will read this, but just wanted to say that I went out tonight with a cute girl and asked me out on a date and got my number, and I feel like life isn't real. Just really happy. And if you read this, thanks for taking the time. It just feels good to feel good. Aw. Congratulations, Super Martzio. That's what happens when you're fucking gifting 25 gifted subs and a tier 3 subscriber of 4 months. That's why. That's why it happened. Straight up.
April 28th, 9 o'clock. I heard this loud ruckus. I heard a loud voice bark out, FBI, come out with your hands up. Had 6 or 7 guns pointed right at me.
I have the TOS time codes. It starts at the 8th minute. There's nothing before that.
Since January 6th, the Biden administration has launched the biggest and most technologically sophisticated manhunt in American history. They've described it as a shock and awe campaign against our own people.
Dude, that's literally not true. Like, you basically admitted that, like, the Patriot Act was that against Muslims, which is still ongoing.
And our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
Shock and awe sound familiar? It means that some of the same veterans who kicked in doors to find al-Qaeda terrorists are now having their doors kicked in by the same government that sent them to risk their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. Facial recognition software, online sentiment analysis tools, old-fashioned snitching. All of the Orwellian methods employed by the surveillance state in the war on terror, now used to track down and purge American war veterans, law enforcement officers, and any journalists who asked the wrong questions.
That's right. Get
It took
fucked.
a decade for the federal government to find Osama bin Laden. They can find you a lot faster. They likely already have.
Get fucked, bitches. That's right. The government's coming after you. If you're white, you're going to jail. That's right, dude. Oh, wait. I'm white. Fuck. But not me. Not me, though.
Reporting by The Intercept, the CIA is now funding 38 separate companies to identify and spy on social media posts whose opinions the Biden administration disagrees with. Once you're identified as a, quote, extremist, information about you winds up in a government database called Main Core. At this point, your life can change quickly. On April 28, 2021, federal agents launched a pre-dawn raid on the home of Paul and Marilyn Huper in home.
It's pretty funny when, like, one of the things that he has to stay saying in this documentary is that the war on terror was both good and bad. Like, we watched part 1. If you missed it, like, the documentary starts out with part 1 where it basically says, like, January 6th both happened and didn't happen. Okay. And also the war on terror was both good and bad at the same time. It was good because, like, you know, Muslims dying, always good. Bad because, mass surveillance state, not great. Very strange to have both of those ideas in your mind at the same time. Obviously, clearly, it doesn't fucking matter for Republicans who watch this shit because they're like, yeah, I agree with him. So he's, it's great. It's fucking fine. Google Jimmy Darko. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Homer, Alaska. That's a small coastal village over 200 miles from Anchorage. This is what happened next.
What is that sound effect?
Homer, Alaska. Tales from the end of the road. Highway 1 starts in Key West and ends in Homer. This is as far away as you can get from the lower 48, which is a lot of our goal.
We feel a lot more freedom here. Fishing and hunting, kayaking, bear viewing, and all of that. It's a great place to live, great community, about 10,000 people total. Ultra conservative to ultra liberal, and we get along, we make it work. Good people.
We have a very small property called Homer Inn and Spa.
We try to cultivate a space that has peace.
FBI!
That peace was shattered at around 9 o'clock in the morning when armed federal agents stormed their home. The Hoopers are not international terrorists. They're not dangerous gang members. They're Trump voters. On January 6, 2021, they were in Washington at a peaceful, constitutionally protected political rally.
It really felt like it was a violation of our space, definitely, to have people barge in uninvited. You know, we gladly would have sat down and had a cup of tea with them and went, okay, what do you need? You don't have to tear my door down. You don't have to terrorize me with guns and handcuffs and all of that.
I turn around, they cuffed me with my hands behind my back and put me in a chair.
Initially, they would not present a search warrant.
And then we asked, what is this about?
What are you doing inside my house with guns and handcuffs?
It never occurred to me they would actually think we had anything to do with anything inside the Capitol, because we never made it inside the Capitol.
But we really just wanted our voices to be heard.
Bro, this is awesome, because the very same entitled attitude that these people had towards like being able to fucking break into the Capitol is literally the reason why they're now like, I don't understand. How dare you arrest me? Like, this is my country. This is for me, and my anger towards like this country being taken away from me, I'm going to demonstrate in a violent way. And that's normal. Like, you can't just like turn around and get mad at me and like, God forbid, arrest me for it. That's wild.
We wanted to be a part of something historical.
I know that they said they didn't make it. They were trying to, apparently. Let's see what happened. Why? I wonder what the fuck it happened there. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder why they couldn't make it.
Gathered together.
Let's do it. We'll be good Americans and we'll go to a rally.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
The call had been to go stand at the Capitol so they'd know we were watching the decisions they made.
And we managed to get lost on the way to the Capitol. There were police cars and riot control cars and all of that heading up Constitution Avenue.
But what we saw was tons of people hanging out, kind of wondering what's happening because there was no cell coverage. We were mentioning to some people like, hey, it looks like we missed the party. And they're like, oh no, you can go in. Just get in that line there, follow those people. See, they're heading on in and they're just letting anybody who wants in.
Wait, so they did go in? Wait, I'm sorry, what? What the fuck?
Like, that doesn't sound right.
And sure enough, you can see kind of a line snaking up. There were no police stopping anybody.
By the way, I just want to point out that they literally fucking flew from Alaska to the Capitol. Like, these are not like the average working class salary men and women, okay? I was just curious. I saw an insurrection occurring and I thought to myself, well, I mean, I got to go inside and all that stuff, you know?
At all. It was like an open invitation just to walk right into the Capitol. Didn't feel right. We chose not to.
It felt totally like some kind of setup was being made.
Their instincts were right. It was a setup.
What?
I had been hearing.
Okay, this implies that they're too stupid. Like, they're too fucking dumb. They're like literally animals, dude. Oh, we're just like too fucking stupid to act out on our own. We have no cognitive abilities to recognize that like this is bad. It's a setup. How is that a setup? Who set you up, dumbass? Who fucking set you up? Was the setup including the fucking plane ticket from Alaska to DC? The time that you took off from your fucking small business in Alaska? It's a setup. They urged me to do it. Party of individual responsibility, by the way. Just want to point this out. Yeah, it must have been George Soros.
That the FBI had been contacting people who had been at DC and that people had been feeling threatened and interrogated by them. But I definitely felt in threat of them hauling me away to somewhere in DC and me never coming out again. They wouldn't let us make a phone call. They refused to let me examine the warrant. And then the main agent who was questioning me, he said, we have footage of you all over the Capitol that day. And even inside Nancy Pelosi's office, they said, well, we're looking for Nancy Pelosi's laptop. We're here for Nancy Pelosi's laptop.
Of course, she didn't have it because she never went inside the Capitol building. They had the wrong person.
And then he showed me a photo, a distant fuzzy photo, profile of a woman in a hallway in the Capitol. And I was just like, is that who you think I am? Can we both see that this is two different people? He said, do you want me?
Wait, it's the same. It's her. Wait, what? Also, I love this. Cops are incompetent. So what's up? Is this just like literally one big fucking self-report that like, even if it's not her, it's pretty funny. But isn't this just like an entire documentary about how like cops are treating us like they would treat black people? Like white people are so privileged in this country, like especially white Republicans are so privileged in this country that like when they get treated like any other marginalized group, they're like, they make a documentary about it. Wait a minute, this is fucking bullshit.
Want me to put in my report that you lied to a federal agent, and grabbed the paper and left again and went back to searching. They took my laptop, and then they took a little tiny copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
This is how the government sees you.
Domestic violent extremism.
They seize my copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. They seize that as evidence against me. What is that saying?
What? What do you think of this? So stupid, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, they did that on purpose. They hate the Constitution. That's why they did it. It's like, dude, I love this because like it's two groups that I despise warring against one another. You know what I mean? It's like white nationalist idiots or like privileged fucking rich dildos who like think that they're so entitled that they can like literally break into the fucking Capitol versus the surveillance state. You know what I mean? I just, let them fight. It's awesome, dude. It's great. Fuck the police and fuck the FBI and fuck the CIA extra hard. But also at the same time, it's like pretty funny that they're, you know, doing the same kind of like incompetent investigations now on like these entitled asshats.
Terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today.
They took my pocket constitution away. Like, what the fuck? What do you think that implies, dude?
If you got a copy of those rights, you're considered to be an extreme radical today.
What?
We still may have charges coming down. Our house may be bust.
That's literally, what is this fucking idea that like... Whenever you have a pocket constitution, you're seen as a radical, brother. Yeah. Yeah, totally, dude.
Not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists.
I know a friend said there were a couple FBI agents taping my husband at the coffee shop, recording his phone conversations, and they challenged him and told him to leave. So they just make up evidence or they make up cases. I mean, there's a history of that, especially with people who appear to be Trump supporters.
Yup, wait, what? Especially with a history of Trump supporting? What? That's where your mind went? The FBI makes up evidence against people that they want to fucking criminally prosecute or investigate, and your first inclination is like Trump supporters? Dude, you are literally brain diseased, dude. You have the worst kind of brain rot. Holy fuck. Just lock her in jail until she figures it out, I think. That's awesome. It's like the first half of that statement is true, and then the second half of that statement is insane, okay?
Or with Trump himself. Trump tweeted once, "They don't hate me, they hate you. I'm just in the way." Now, the real agenda of coming after the people is becoming more apparent.
Move! There are millions of Americans, almost all white, almost all Republicans, who need to be
self-report.
Deprogrammed.
It is a purge aimed at legacy Americans.
How are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump?
Purge of inconvenient citizens who vote the wrong way.
That's right, dude. It's a purge of Republican voters, dude. That's what's happening. I just wish. I really do wish. It would be kind of cool. Bro, I don't spend money on shit, but if that's the new ideology hoodie, I'll pay $100. Put that shit on the shop right now. We're going to put it on. We're going to put it on. Okay? It's official. I will be releasing the hoodies as well. Okay? Chill out. Legacy Americans is code for race Americans. Yeah. Legacy Americans is a fun little way of saying, like, recognizing that, like, Native Americans are not, you know, Legacy Americans is a new thing that I've been hearing from Tucker Carlson. Because you can't say Native Americans because we know who the fucking Native Americans are. You know, the Legacy Americans murdered the Native Americans. So that's what he's trying to say. I mean, it's just a major self-report, major report on, like, you know, like white Americans. Come on, Legacy Americans, like the whites. Let's be real.
What someone on my team earlier today called debathification.
Oh!
In the first war on terror following the American invasion of Iraq, the so-called debathification of Iraqi society began.
Wait. What is this? Saddam on the ground after capture? Oh, that's actually not that bad.
The hunt is on.
We occupied their capital.
Tonight in Washington.
No. They didn't, like, execute him on camera. It doesn't matter. They just showed him getting, like, prepared for the execution. They're comparing themselves to the Baathists.
A green zone perimeter has been established.
We hunted down supporters of the former Iraqi regime.
The National Guard scouring for explosives and extremists.
But they did hang him on camera live. And they did it on the first day, on the holiest day, by the way. Never forget, they hung Saddam Hussein on the holiest day, the first day of Ramadan. And that was literally on purpose. They did that on purpose. So when people say, like, oh, dude, the war on terror isn't, like, inherently white supremacist, like, yeah, well, that's the difference between me, you know, growing up in a fucking Muslim country and Americans who, even if they are anti-imperialist, like, not seeing the little fucking subtle nuances. A big fuck you. Yeah, they did that on purpose, dude. This is very informative. I didn't know white Republicans are an oppressed minority. Thanks for doing this. Yeah. Yeah. The first day of Eid, they hung him live on television, dude. Wasn't a good guy, but they fucking showed it. They showed it. That was a warning shot, dude. If we want to come after you, we're going to come after you. The correlation isn't really there, but okay. You think the American government had no idea that, like, Eid is one of the holiest fucking days? They did it on purpose. Are you fucking stupid? First of all, the fact that they did it, the fact that they executed him live on camera is insane, okay? Unheard of. Are you fucking crazy? Live hanging? Get the fuck out of here. The fact that they did it on that day, the holiest day for the international Muslim community, was literally just to straight up say, you know, fuck you. You're nothing. Yet they didn't show Osama's corpse. Interesting? Yeah, that is interesting because he's not dead, brother. That's right.
Purge their military and their law enforcement agencies and all public supporters of the former regime.
The new Secretary of Defense ordered the entire U.S. military to, quote, stand down while investigators cleansed the ranks of political extremists.
Dude, what are you saying? He deserved it and the Iraqis wanted to see it? Oh, fuck? Dude, is this like bait or something? Like, I don't understand. What the fuck? You fucked my uncle's small business, dude? Yeah, dude. Look at the... Dude, white Westerner fucking leftists are hilarious. I swear to God. They're just like the best. The best. You paused on the timestamp, by the way? Good. 15-month subscriber. Dude, the people of Iraq loved it. They welcomed us as liberators. Remember, everybody knows this, dude. Everybody knows this. they welcomed the American forces as liberators. They were like, oh, poggers, poggers, poggers. Thank you so much for coming. Come on, bro, speak up. I want to hear your takes on this. I'm Middle Eastern, lol. Okay, Northern Iraqi Kurd, 100%. No other explanation for this other than I'm Middle Easterner, lol. I don't think Saddam is a good guy, by the way. I admit that. But you don't fucking go into a country and execute its fucking head of state literally on always the Kurds. I probably is. No shot. I have Iraqi family and I'm a Saudi Shia. Okay, bro. No, he's a Saudi Shia. Like, hey, you just, I won't speak out against you. Don't worry. That's bullshit. He's lying. He's a Saudi Shia. He's like literally fucking, he could be executed by his government at any given moment. So. Yes, they do ship. They do ship worldwide. Ideology.shop does ship worldwide. Okay, so here's the thing. Saddam Hussein was brutal as fuck, okay? He was horrible. That's why America supported him in the beginning, okay? Anyway, he was. Straight up. But this idea that you can just like invade a country, okay, fuck up its infrastructure in its entirety, claim that you're going to bring democracy there, okay, while literally presenting yourself as an occupying force and only protecting the Ministry of Energy and nothing else, and basically divvying up the natural resources before you even fucking go into the country, and then turning around, finding the fucking leader of the state and executing him live on television, literally unheard of, okay? That's not a thing you can do, but executing him live on television on the holiest day for Muslims. Insane. Anyone who fucking does not recognize how deliberate that was and how insane that was, and only hyper focuses on the fact that like Saddam Hussein was a brutal fucking piece of shit to your own personal ethnic group is silly as fuck. That's terror. Because the Muslims wanted it. Yeah, just like slavery wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the black people selling other black people into chattel slavery. Like saying the Muslims wanted it is great, dude. Yeah. No, they wanted it. They welcomed them, right? The hanging was not shown on television. I remember seeing it on, I mean, maybe it wasn't. Imagine some other countries are the same to Trump during his presidency on Christmas. People would celebrate that, to be honest. Some people would. Also, don't forget the crippling sanctions of the Clinton administration that fucked over the Iraqi people. Oh, 100%. No, it was on television in the U.S. I thought it was. I remember seeing it on TV, but I don't know. Maybe it's a fucking Berenstein Bears moment or some shit. The hanging was leaked. Crazy. Crazy that the hanging was leaked.
We threaten to do the same to anyone we identified as part of the axis of evil.
Unholy alliance of religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, even libertarians.
Nothing like this has ever taken place on American soil until now.
Legislators around the country have already begun attempting to weed out extremism within the ranks of law enforcement.
Fire, you're cold. No misses. That's why you need to get a good girlfriend and get married. Then you'll have a missus.
A special agent for the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, is now facing criminal charges for his role on January 6th.
Dude, tell me this is a DEA libertarian, dude. It's just the funniest juxtaposition. There's no better representation that Americans are just like literally fucking they have no concept of like political. They have no understanding of politics. There's no better representation of that juxtaposition than having a fucking libertarian DEA, dude. Love that.
DEA agent Mark Ibrahim was forced from his job and later indicted simply because he was near the Capitol protests on January 6th.
It's crazy how quick they turn on cops. It's not right. Everyone's just trying to do their job, man.
I truly believe that my calling is to be a protector of people who aren't trained or fit or able to protect themselves. I joined the DEA because I really believe that the Drug Enforcement Administration was the premier agency fighting the cartels. The cartels are the largest human traffickers in the world.
Wait. Bro. I wanted to protect people. That's why I joined the DEA, dude. Yeah, sick. You're really doing a great job, dude. You are protecting what, dude? From people from fucking... I joined the DEA so I could shoot at Mexican people.
World, and I wanted to fight that.
Mark's a dedicated, motivated guy.
Tim Clementi is an expert on counterterrorism.
He loves this country. His parents were immigrants, so he's a first generation. Mark wanted to honor the country that accepted his parents, and he did that by first serving in the military, and then when he got into federal law enforcement. And I know Mark was down near the Capitol, and merely for having been there on that day and near the Capitol, Mark lost his job, lost his security clearance, and probably ended his years of service to the United States government and to the people in the United States because of that.
Ibrahim says he went to the Capitol that day because he was invited by an FBI informant, a man he had known in Iraq. We have confirmed this is true. We've reached out to that man, the man that Ibrahim went to the protest with. He denies he encouraged anyone to break the law, but that man did confirm that he has been an FBI informant. He confirmed the FBI knew he was at the Capitol that day, and he confirmed he invited Mark Ibrahim to the protest. Ibrahim says that if the two of them stood outside the building, the FBI informant turned to him and strongly encouraged him to enter the Capitol building. Ibrahim knew that was illegal, so he refused to do it. Mark Ibrahim now faces 15 years in federal prison.
They labeled me a domestic terrorist. Like, I just want to see peace and unity because...
Why do you assume the execution was directed at Muslims and not terrorists? I don't know, because I'm not a fucking child. And the war on terror overall was literally a war against Muslims in general. It was also regarded as a holy crusade that God told George W. Bush to do, led by fucking generals who literally talked about bathing their bullets in pig's blood. And I also lived in America post 9/11, so I don't know. I'm kind of aware of how, like, even liberals, the most lukewarm libs, milquetoast libs, still have like unresolved anger towards the Muslim community in general.
I've seen it in foreign countries between Sunni and Shia, and open violence in the streets. It's a sad and scary thing. I'm afraid that if this division and dehumanizing continues, that's where America's headed, and I pray that never happens. I think how close America came to not existing at Valley Forge. George Washington got on his knees before God, and
I hope it was Enrique Tarrio that fucking urged him to go do that, by the way. Fucking great stuff. Great stuff. Good job, Enrique. Killing it with the Proud Boys, you know what I'm saying?
asked him to give him wisdom and discernment. And I think America is in a very fragile state right now. And I think that we need to do what George Washington did, is get on our knees and pray.
Wait, hold on. Of 18. Oh, it's coming.
In Iraq, during the first war on terror, the U.S. government tore down all vestiges of the previous regime and then reordered the society from the top to the bottom. First, our authorities targeted the people who had guns, law enforcement, and the military.
Wait, so are they saying that, like, they are literally saying that, you know, these white supremacist insurrectionists and shit are like the backbone of the American security forces. Like, they are the real, like, they're basically Like the guy that said all of those people should be wiped out of the fucking planet because they're all primitive apes is now saying like those people that I once considered to be primitive apes, I also think are very similar to the white supremacists here, and that the police should not fucking wipe them out or do anything about it. It is the Weeby vid with the timestamps. Yes, I'm watching that currently. More on the DA agent? Wait. Oh, so the DA agent was... What the fuck? Mark Sami Ibrahim allegedly hoped the protest would be his stage for launching a Liberty Tavern political podcast and cigar brand. Oh, get fucked, dude. They never show. Dude, oh my God. Everybody wants to sell t-shirts. You know who's selling t-shirts, though? Me. Ideology.shop, baby. That's right. The special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration brought his service weapon and badge to the siege in January 6th. Oh my God, dude. Now I sell hoodies too, eventually. It's going to happen. And he brought it, defiantly displaying them for multiple photos taken in unrestricted areas on the Capitol grounds after police barricades were overrun. That's great, dude. No, he was just there. He was urged to bring his fucking gun and his badge to the Capitol insurrection by the informant, I suspect. And, you know, just like the informant probably paid for his ticket, just like the informant most likely is Enrique Tarrio of the Proud Boys. Bro, this is awesome, dude. He literally was like trying to do a fucking insurrection photo shoot. I mean, how is this any different than the basic bitches that go to the Holocaust Memorial, okay, and like pose for Instagram photos? The energy is exactly the same, okay? This person is just the same as like all of the fucking women on Instagram and men on Instagram, the Gen Z generation that they fucking hate, right? The kid that's like doing a TikTok dance while his fucking grandfather is passing away in the hospital bed behind him. It's the exact same shit. You're doing the same shit, but you're doing it for conservatism. No different at all. Libertarian DA agent is so funny. Yeah. Ibrahim, who was suspended in March after DA Brass found out he had been on site when the Capitol was breached, told investigators he never entered the building. However, he's still facing 3 charges for entering restricted grounds while carrying a deadly weapon, climbing the Peace Monument outside the Capitol, and lying to federal agents. Ibrahim was out there like, don't you give up now, now, now. No, 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 no. Let me love you. That's what he's doing. He's like, let me love you. I'm just standing there with my fucking gun, dude. That's whatever. I was just standing near it with my gun. Shaking my head. I hate the Proud Boys. They tried to take over the tag from the fellow gays. Muslim DEA libertarian podcast. They're only in America, baby. That's right.
And then they turn their attention to the...
Wait, hold on. Did we end it? Dead bodies in the back of the truck? Okay, that's good. We're done.
...minds of the entire population.
Okay, I gotta pee. I'll be back.
At the time, they called these weapons of mass persuasion. Psychological warfare. It looks familiar now.
It's very concerning that military service members and law enforcement officers with badges and guns are a target for recruitment by these extremist groups.
Before I was a special agent, I was in information warfare.
The military has to do more to address extremism in its ranks.
Extremism in the military.
And I think we're going to have to reset our entire intelligence approach.
Law enforcement agencies need a rebalancing, similar to what occurred after 9/11, when the counter-terror focus became Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
If you ask anybody in the asymmetrical warfare realm if we're at war, they will tell you without a doubt, yes.
The first insurrection of what I suspect will be many insurrections. We are dealing with an insurgency in the United States.
Influence and psychological warfare are the most powerful forces on the planet. I have seen this happening in the mainstream media being used on American citizens, and I can reverse engineer exactly what they're doing, and it's very dangerous and alarming to me as a professional in this trade. My name is Emily Grace Rainey. I was a captain with the Psychological Operations Group at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I am essentially a propagandist for a living.
This new terrorism advisory is not based on any actual threats or plots, but it says there's a rise in anti-government rhetoric.
A very broad range of political views.
A broad range of ideologically motivated actors.
The term extremism is being kept nebulous for a reason.
Oh, that's crazy. I wonder what these people thought about the black identity extremism, you know? When the American government was going after black identity extremism. Crazy.
Some of it is opposition to COVID public health rules like mask and vaccine measures. Some calls for violent action are based on claims of election fraud or a belief that Donald Trump can be reinstated.
It's so that there is gray area and they can use the term as they like against the people that
I agree, though. I can fix her.
That they like to use it against. Me, for example.
Fort Bragg is investigating a psychological operations officer who led a group of people from North Carolina to the rally in D.C. that led up to those deadly riots.
I went and I saw my commander-in-chief.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
At my nation's capital, took 100 of my friends, and they ostensibly ruined my career had I wanted to stay. They revoked my clearance. They denied me a commission in the reserves so that I could finish out to.
Dude, I'm sorry, but there is nothing funnier than like comparing the death and destruction that the Americans delivered to innocent Iraqis to like a person literally caught in the act of doing a fucking insurrection and getting basically a little fucking slap on the wrist for it. Okay? It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. Like, what a fucking insane thing just to, like, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that that can even make this. It's even more embarrassing that there's so many people that, like, literally fucking sit around and say, this is actually real. I can't believe that they happened.
To retirement. And then they put a gag order on me that lasted from January until now.
The job of the department.
Wait, hold on. Where the fuck is it? Is it coming up? Fighting? Probably fine. Okay.
Department of Defense is to keep America safe from our enemies. But we can't do that if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks.
So that I could not tell you today what the world needs to hear.
So if you see someone putting something that's extremist out there, that's a fellow Marine, it's now your duty to report it.
By the way, the reason why they do this, like, extremism fucking conversations in the Marine Corps and in the Army in general is because of Atomwaffen, okay? Just for the record, for those of you who don't know, it's literally because of Atomwaffen, which is an actual fucking Nazi group that operates within the ranks of the military, okay? And, like, literally gets caught regularly for trying to blow shit up, okay? They're actual Nazis. And they recruit from within the military. And they regularly either collaborate with like Hell's Angels on like fucking deals and shit like that. Or they get regularly caught because they're trying to transport explosives across state borders. They're literally the American military Nazis. And that's why the American military is like, yeah, we got to fucking, you know, fix this shit. It's kind of crazy. So just remember that when they're like, oh, I can't believe they're trying to depropagandize or deprogram like some of the fucking Nazis in the American military. And I'm upset about that. I, as the person who does the propaganda.
It cannot be.
Bro, everything is Nazi to you? What the fuck? Atomwaffen! Really? Everything is Nazi to me? Including the literal group called Atomwaffen. That openly claim that they are a part of a neo-Nazi terrorist network. What's next, bro? You're gonna call Hitler a Nazi? What's next, dog? Who else is a Nazi to you? Hitler? Did he ever say he's a Nazi? I don't think so. Get fucked, libtard. If you don't think Atomwaffen is, like, if you don't think that this group, this Atomwaffen division that works literally inside of the military and calls themselves openly a Nazi division, a neo-Nazi group, if you don't think that they are Nazis, then no one is a Nazi. What the fuck? Wild, dude. Insanity, dude. Surprise, surprise, here's the real story. Emily Rainey, North Carolina Army captain, led group to the U.S. Capitol rally. 30-year-old Rainey, a special operations officer, previously resigned her commission with the Army in September after participating in anti-lockdown protests in North Carolina that resulted in her arrest. It takes months for the resignation to be completed. Oh, so she didn't even fucking actually, she resigned. She didn't even get kicked out. Actually, there's no proof the SS were Nazis. Actually, you should learn your history, Sweaty. I want to know what the fuck that guy was thinking when he said... I want to know what the fuck that guy was thinking when he said the Atomwaffen are not Nazis. Like, it's just like, bro, everything is a Nazi to you, bro. Victor Kaizen 27. Your hat is cultural appropriation, bro. I usually agree with you, but this time you're who doesn't understand Hasan. He's against pornography because he believes consent cannot be bought and porn is the advert for patriarchy. Okay. Okay, dude. Yeah, this was Josh Hawley. He was talking about how Josh Hawley was saying that porn is an advert for the patriarchy. I mean, he's just like trolling. This is a troll account. Rainey, who's assigned to the 4th Psychological Operations Group at Fort Bragg, wrote a post for the military website in June about the do's and don'ts about being political while serving. Well, I mean, I guess she didn't follow her own do's and don'ts. You know? Like, don't see the ad at the top of the hour when the top of the hour ad break comes. Do subscribe with a $5 a month subscription or with a Twitch Prime so you don't see the ad at the top of the hour. Those are the rules, right? Of course, that is, you know, if you haven't already bought your fucking sweet ass ideology merch hoodie coming soon at the top of the hour. In the military, you make training like that as punishment when you get in trouble for breaking the rules. If their legacy gets tarnished, it's just the end of the world because they think they're too critical to it. Yeah. Hoodie at the top of the hour? No, the hoodie's not coming yet. It'll come soon, though. Stop spam refreshing the website. You're going to break it. Twitch Prime is free, by the way, if you don't have $5. If you're saving up for the hoodie. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Overstated how dangerous targeting your political opponents is and purging them out of the one place.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Matt, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
We got this.
Rejoice! You made it just in time for the miracle.
When the holidays really get going, keep up with new Pancake Minis at Dunkin'. Enjoy 6 fluffy, delicious pancakes with dipping syrup. Cheers with a white mocha hot chocolate to take on the holidays wherever they take you. Marry on with Pancake Minis. America runs on Dunkin'.
Careful. "100% hide screen. Hide screen under saying millions of Americans can unhide at her saying, so you're driving around Fort Bragg." Wait, what? 100% hide screen. Wait, I thought you guys were fucking joking when you said, like, you can't. I thought you were joking when you said you have to hide this. This is imagery that's too scary to see.
And we played. Could not think of a more peaceful way to stand against what I saw as being overreach, and I was given an administrative reprimand for taking down the caution tape at the park.
Emily Rainey followed this up with yet another jarring display of extremism. As a private citizen, not in uniform, consistent with her constitutional rights, and in violation of no policy directive, she led a group of middle-aged American homeowners to a rally in support of election integrity.
Regardless of what you've heard, myself and 100 grandmas did not storm the Capitol. We did not see the inside. We didn't take a tour. It was said that I was the architect of the January 6th insurrection. It was said that I led 100 militia to the Capitol with weapons and military equipment. You know, the insinuations were like using my name in the same sentence as Timothy McVeigh. And then that's when the extremists...
To be fair, though, liberals did go buck wild about January 6th and still do. Like, they do compare it to, like, Timothy McVeigh and shit like that. They really do. And there is a comparison that you can make to, like, white supremacist domestic terrorism. Like, white supremacist domestic terrorism is still white supremacist domestic terrorism. That's what Timothy McVeigh did. He was a lot more successful, obviously. But ultimately, like, they're fucking nuts. Like, the liberals do, like, go buck wild about it, but still. These guys are just, like, crying that they got, like, literally a slap on the wrist.
Rhetoric started happening. We started to see all of this stuff coming up about the veterans that were in the crowd.
Individuals who have received military training from the best military in the world, and then they turn around and use these very skills to attack the country.
As a psychological operations officer, we may or may not be interested in influencing an insurrection in other countries. If you were going to do that, hypothetically, you wouldn't do that by telling a group of 1 million people to come to the Capitol, peaceably assemble, and just bring your American flags.
I love that. But that's not what they just brought. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what they just brought. And also, God, I really hate her. I hate her so much. She's like, I literally do this for a living. Like, I fucking break people's brains for a living. And that's annoying as fuck to me for obvious reasons, because it's like literally an admission. I mean, dude, the guy that they're showing in the clip, dude, are Tucker's editors like fucking... Are they like leftists? Like, what's going on? She's like, oh, they're just being peaceful. Motherfucker literally has zip ties in his hands. What are you going to peacefully zip tie someone? Like, this makes no goddamn sense, dude.
We can't be disrespectful.
So if that was an insurrection, it was the most poorly conducted insurrection ever.
If it wasn't an insurrection, then what was it?
Special operations uses the military deception tactic of a false flag
Wait, hold on. This part is like possible TOS coming up, like definitely.
Abroad against the enemies of America. A false flag is anytime you want to frame another group so that you can then take action against that group.
They show Iraq weapons of mass destruction.
It is my opinion that false flags have happened in this country. One of which may have been January 6th.
And DHS says the coming 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks and religious holidays later this year could be catalysts for violence.
Fear is one of the biggest tactics used in psychological operations. So what we're seeing is fear being used to manipulate the military to see millions of Americans as domestic terrorists and to try to silence people. There is a fear that if you are a conservative and you're in the military, that you will be singled out, that you will be looked at with suspicion, that your clearance may be in question. I'm driving into work and I'm thinking, oh, I might be arrested at the gate. They're saying that I've committed treason and that I'm a domestic terrorist.
We may be witnessing.
The amount of ISIS footage that they're showing is literally insane. Now I get why everyone was warning me about this. It's just an endless sequence of like live leak type ISIS footage of like ISIS just like executing people. And I don't know why they're showing that. Are they saying that they are literally ISIS? Also, why are they like, you can't just be like, this was a false flag. Like I'm this is breaking my brain. Okay. This is breaking my brain in every way possible because like everything I'm seeing when I watch it is basically saying like, we are literally ISIS. Okay. But then everything they're saying is like, you know, we're not like ISIS. We're being treated like ISIS. But then they show it and it's like it doesn't match up with the argument that they're trying to make. Is conservative a code for something? Tons of people in the military are conservative. Most of them even. Yeah, I know that there's like a lot of fucking conservatives in the military. I know.
The dawn of a sustained wave of violent insurgency within our own country.
So you're driving around Fort Bragg, you see.
Oh yeah, we can do it now. Okay, good.
NRA stickers, you know, come and take it, Gaston flags. You see.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Gadsden flag, libertarian military members. You fucking so dumb. You are exercising the state's monopoly on violence, dumbass. You can't be a fucking libertarian while being a bootlicker in the military. Oh my lord, dude.
All of this. When they started to say that extremists were in the military and that those extremists had an interest in the spirit of 1776, you started seeing really poorly scratched out bumper stickers over all of Fort Bragg.
Oh, so sad. So sad, dude. What a sad state of affairs. They had to fucking scratch out their bumper stickers, dude. Come on.
You are slowly purging out of the military any dissenting voice that may actually stand in the way of using military improperly in the future. The last 20 years, we have been a country at war.
What is this truck beeping?
Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan. Now that those wars are winding down, there's this idea that the military needs to find a new mission. Their job is not to root out domestic extremism in the homeland. Be ready for that day when you are given an unlawful order per the Constitution.
I got a whole bunch of guys right there.
Where you take your rank off.
Bro, they're literally just like showing the military drone strike motherfuckers. It's not unlawful. Wait, hold on 1 second. I have to pause. Oop, sorry. I'm here. Okay.
Where you take your rank off and you say, no, to hell with that. That's my prayer, is really for my own brothers and sisters in arms. Wake up.
The United States is in the state of war.
Oh, this is the classic fucking clip. Ugh. Military is literally by design indoctrinated to the point where they do not dissent. Is she fucking dumb? I can read people most of the time like a book, but I can tell you just based on her facial expressions that she's a stone sociopath, guaranteed. Final part of the Patriot Purge. I think we're gonna stop. We're not gonna finish it today. Too much patriotism. I need to stop it. I am scared of what might happen.
Undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system.
There was an old interview with a Russian KGB defector named
Yuri
Alexandrovich Bezmenov. And he referred to people as useful idiots.
The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to.
You could show them the concentration camp, and they still won't believe.
The people in charge, they're literally declaring war on their own population.
Like every single person in here that has been on this interview, except for like Yuri Bezmenov or whatever the fuck, has openly, and I will bet on it, openly stated that the government should murder black people protesting in the BLM protests. Okay, I know for a fact Tucker Carlson has said that numerous times, but of course, you know, the government turns around and is like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't storm the fucking Capitol building. Okay. And then they're like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? Hold up. This is my constitutional right. I go where the fuck I want. I'm a legacy American, baby. Like, bro, you don't want the government investigating people that like literally broke into the fucking Senate and in Congress in general? Like, I kind of want that to happen a little bit. Like, that's nuts. It's insane that you're like upset that an investigation was even concluded. Like an investigation that even happened. You're like mad that you couldn't functionally walk in with zip ties and shit, okay, break into the fucking Capitol and then film yourself doing it. And when then the authorities come and go, hey, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, this is insane. You're like, hold on. This is my goddamn God-given American right. That's nuts, dude. That's fucking insane. All the while, you've been like advocating to murder black people in their own fucking neighborhoods for protesting police brutality. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Population. Here's the former CIA director describing what the enemy looks like.
And this threat from domestic violence extremists is much more challenging, I believe, than it was in terms of going after foreign terrorists.
The helicopters have left.
I mean, yeah, he's right, because white supremacists, he's the fucking former head of the CIA. If he knows some about white supremacists and doing white supremacist shit, he knows, okay? He himself, the CIA is a white supremacist institution, okay? So let's be fucking real. Like, he's basically saying it's complicated because that's kind of what we do. Kind of what we do. We do a lot of white supremacist shit, and this country is built on white supremacist principles. So it's kind of hard to fucking... Now you're on the side of the CIA. You are literally brain dead. You are a fucking baboon. Fuck yourself if you think I'm on the side of the CIA. If you think I like John Brennan, are you a fucking psychopath? Oh, fuck. I forgot. It's because you're a goddamn conservative, and conservatives have no way of understanding what a person's position is. So they just imagine a world where like what I'm saying fits what you think of me instead. This is a strategic coordinated event. They knew Million MAGA March was happening that day. They turned down security and had cameramen inside ready. Cameramen inside ready? Hey, dumbass. They filmed themselves because of how entitled they are, that they thought that, you know, they could do this. And hired feds and BLM organizers to lead this event and blame Trump supporters. Yeah, totally, dude. Totally. So many BLM organizers were there, except for that one fucking grifter who's not even a part of BLM. God damn, dude. You are so fucking stupid. Like, I bet his dad was there. You know what I mean? Like, I bet he was there. Conservatives are so fucking stupid that they literally will like attend the march and be like, yeah, he was FBI and Antifa, brother. It's like, well, motherfucker, you were there. Why were you breaking into the Capitol? Antifa made me do it, brother. Are you admitting that you are literally just a fucking animal? That you personally have absolutely zero responsibility for your own individual actions? I thought this was the party of the individual responsibility. You fucking brain-wormed dipshit. So I guess you are Antifa.
Afghanistan, and now they've landed here at home. They've begun to fight a new enemy in a new war on terror. Not, you should understand, a metaphorical war, but an actual.
This lady fucking literally brought like 30 to 100 people to the fucking Capitol and then turned around and said it's a false flag, dude. Nuts. That's insane. You brought the people there. The fuck do you mean it's a false flag? So did you do the false flag? Like, I can't believe the government did this to me. That's crazy. What the fuck?
Soldiers and paramilitary law enforcement, guided by the world's most powerful intelligence agencies, hunting down American citizens, purging them from society, throwing some of them into solitary confinement.
You are in a state of war, and you have precious little time to save yourself.
They're just showing people getting hanged. How's the FBI not clapping Tucker's ass cheeks? Wonder what would have happened if he was black. I mean, dude, it's just like doesn't, because this is not a threat to the FBI. Tucker Carlson does not present a threat to the FBI. The FBI ultimately is still and will continue to be a white supremacist institution that upholds white supremacist values, okay? That's the reality. So that's why Tucker Carlson can be like, oh man, the FBI is like doing a fucking false flag operation. Even when it's like quite literally, I just like, I don't understand, man. I don't understand how you can straight the fuck up, like in broad daylight, do this shit, okay? Openly after years and years and years of agitating for it. And then you fucking turn around and you're just like, yeah, the FBI must have done this, or Antifa, or in collaboration with the Antifa, FBI did it together. Nuts.